Hey all, it's Ahmed from Recruitable University, and on today's recruitment program, we are on module number 5, and we are going to be talking about sales strategic success, how to successfully get a sale, how to turn those potential leads into a sale and close deals. So in this module today, we'll be covering a few sub lessons. So we'll be going through building rapport and trust. How can you build rapport and trust with your clients and your candidates? Understanding the product. So your candidates are your products, your clients are your product. Totally understanding both of your clients and candidates in order to be able to sell your client to your candidate, and again, your candidate to your client. We'll also be going through perfecting your pitch, the best sales pitch that you can make, because the most important part of your sale is the pitch that you deliver, ensuring that you are delivering the best possible pitch to get the best possible results. We'll also be going through negotiation techniques, certain techniques that you can use to hopefully overcome those difficult, stubborn sales that you can't just get over to the finish line.
Hey, Ahmed here. I hope you're finding value in this video. If you need any free advice or help with your recruitment agency, or you're thinking of starting your own agency but have some questions, feel free to join our weekly Q&A. You may have seen some clips from it on my page. I'll post a link in my Telegram community, which is completely free to join. I don't even need your email or phone number, and I'll personally be there to answer any of your questions. The link is down below for those of you who are interested. Now let's get back to the video.
So potentially we'll go through different techniques and tips for you to be able to get a sale. And last but not least, we'll be going through time management, how to organize your day, how to manage your day so that you can get the best possible result out of your day in order to get more sales and convert those leads into potential sales. So we get right into it. Building rapport will be the first lesson that we'll be going through today. So the difference between a sale and a non-sale, or potentially killing a lead. So the way that you look at it, every single candidate that you speak to is a lead. It's either a warm lead or a cold lead, a cold lead or a warm lead. So it's your responsibility, it's your job now to try to get this candidate, whether they're warm, whether they're cold, to get them over the finish line. And the finish line is for them to accept the offer that you are offering, whether it's a vacancy, whether it's a permanent vacancy, a short-term vacancy, whatever that vacancy is, whatever that product that you're selling to them. So the most important part of your sale is your report, how you get yourself across to your candidates and how you articulate yourself, how you speak to your candidates. It's very important, and it literally makes the difference. The first few seconds of the call, or the first few minutes of the telephone conversation that you have with your candidate, will be the deciding factor whether or not they will want to continue or they want to engage in the conversation. So it's very important that you build a rapport with your client and your candidates. Now, what I say is discuss, even sometimes you take the call away from the sale, so take it away from what you're trying to sell to them. So there's times when I speak to my candidates and they say to me, I'm literally at the airport, I'm going on a flight today. You say, oh, not to worries, I'll give you a call back on Monday, anywhere nice that you're going, and then just sort of try to have a 5-10 minute conversation with them about their holiday. And if you've been to those destinations, also mention where you've been, if you enjoyed it, any recommendation that you have for them. It's just something that, even just to move the call away from the sale and now sort of being a bit more personal and interactive with your candidates or your clients. And again, a common scenario I'm in sometimes is when I speak to my clients and I'm trying to book a candidate in for a shift, and I call them maybe on a day off, and they say to me, I'm just walking a dog. And if you've got a dog at home, you say, oh, what dog do you have? I'm into pets myself, and trying to build a relationship with them over uh, whilst taking the conversation away from work and away from the cell. It really, really works, and it builds that connection with them. So if they do remember you, they say, oh, it's this the chap or the lady I spoke to from the agency who recommended me to check out that restaurant whilst I was on that holiday. So try to discuss interests with your clients and your candidates, and do not be shy to take the call. You don't have to be professional all the time, in terms of it doesn't have to be just work related. You can just be yourself, and try to just build a relationship with your clients and your candidates. It really does work. And smile and dial is a common theme that we hear all the time, which is speak to your candidates whilst you are energetic. Do not don't come across dull, don't come across boring, don't come across daft on the phone. You need to really be you know, it's sometimes what we like to do is we stand up on the whilst we are on that call, and we like to speak to our candidates at just an hour a day. You know, instead of being sluggish and sitting down the whole day, get up on the phone, smile, try to deliver your best possible pitch that you can in order to sell to your candidates or your clients. And that will move over to the next one, which is energy is key. I can't stress how important it is to have good energy on the phone. You've got to have that energy. You've got to have the buzz, and you've got to be energetic and live, because what it is, it's people will bounce off your energy. If you come across on the phone, you as I'm sure you know, when you're working or when you're out and about, you pick up the phone, and you sometimes we get calls from whether it's a telephone provider, whether it's an energy provider trying to sell us something. It's really how they come across to us on the phones that makes us either stay on that call a little bit longer than we anticipated, or we get off that phone right away. It's the energy levels. It's important. I can't stress how important it is to be energetic when you're on the phone. Stand up if you have to. Drink plenty of water, stay hydrated, and be energetic, be buzzing, and try to sell to them. Be excited for them. Tell them you've offering them a fantastic opportunity that they don't want to miss out on, or you're offering them a fantastic candidate who's just become available and he's just in the market as we speak. And I'm sure he'll get snapped up right away. So I thought I'd get on the phone to you first, and to let you know we've got someone available before he goes elsewhere. Or if you're speaking to your candidate, say to them, you know, I've just got a vacancy fresh, it just come in. The client just spoke to me on the phone and said, can you please find me a engineer or a software developer or a doctor or a nurse, whatever the field that you've decided to do. So let them know you've handpicked them. It's not just that you've just picked up the phone and you've been calling around. You've handpicked them. You specifically went out of your way. You saw their CV, you saw their credential, and you said to yourself, I need to speak to you because I've got a fantastic opportunity that you really don't want to miss out on. So your energy level is key, and it's really how you deliver to your candidates and your clients that will get you that sell across the line. So that being said, that will help us cover. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is going to give you an example using ChatGPT on how you can build report, what sort of scenarios that you can sometimes find yourself in, and how to overcome those challenges. So if we go to ChatGPT, and so I've just put in we want to simulate a sales call, and where I will speak to my candidates and we will get potential responses. So my pitch generally would be hi, my name is Ahmed. I'm calling from ABC Recruitment. I'm just giving you a quick call regarding fantastic work opportunities I have in your local area. So this is my starting sort of pitch. What I always like to ensure is when I'm on the phone, just to ensure them it's a quick call, because no one likes to pick up calls and stay on that call for a lengthy period of time. So I just reiterated them, hi, my name's Ahmed. I'm calling from ABC Recruitment, and it's just a quick call, and to let them know I've got fantastic work opportunities. So be excited for them. I've got fantastic work opportunities in your local area, paying fantastic rates, or paying really, really good rates. Now, I was just wondering, what is your work availability? So now I'm going to ask AI to give me potential or possible answers and how we can overcome those scenarios. So we've got a few responses. So with the first one is the interested response, and that one is generally the easiest, which would be, hi, Ahmed, I'm actually looking for a new work opportunity. I'm actually looking for a new work opportunity. Can you tell me more about what you have available? So this one is fairly easy, which would be go straight into your pitch, let them know what you've got available, and then sell to them. Seems like they're already interested. So it's just now all you have to do is just tell them more about the vacancy, more about the position, and then get them across the line and book them in for those shifts that you wanted to book them in for. And then you've got the neutral, polite response where they say, hi, Ahmed, thanks for reaching out. I'm not actively looking right now, but I'm always open to hearing about new opportunities. What do you have in mind? So they've given you a door, they've given you a window for you to take the floor, to take the mic and to deliver it, and to say to them, fantastic, thank you so much for giving me a few moments of your time. As I said to you, I won't take too much of your time. I've got a fantastic role in your area. It's literally 15 minutes away from your postcode, and they're looking for software engineers like yourself and to join their team. They're a really, really great bunch. And I saw your CV and I thought I'd reach out to you and to get your interest. So this one now, you've got their interest. They're neutral. They're sort of on the fence, and it's just all they need is just that little bit of a push, and that can be done with your call. And then you've got the potential responses of I'm busy or not interested, and I'm sure you get this a lot of the times. And you'll speak to your candidate. Your candidate say, it's not a good time right now. Can you send me more details via email? So these ones are just more of a just I'm interested to hear, but not right now. So send me an email. What I would do is just I'd get myself a little email template that and I will be sending to my candidates. So whilst I'm on the phone to them, I'll just copy and paste that template that I have, and I will just ask him, perfect, not to worry at all. I can send you a quick email with the opportunities that we have available in your area. Can I just confirm your email address and just get their email address whilst you're on the phone to them and send that email as you're on the phone to them, and just say to them, can you just kindly confirm that you received my email? I've just sent it over to you as I'm speaking to you on the phone. Sometimes it may land into the spam folder, so do check. And it's important that you say to them, because a lot of the time, sometimes you may find that your clients or your candidates aren't getting back to you, but the reason for that is they actually haven't seen your email. So just say to them, it may have landed into your spam or your junk folder. If you could just double check and kindly confirm you've got my email whilst I'm on the phone to you. And then 9 out of 10 times they'll be like, yeah, not to worry, give me a second. And they'll say, yeah, that's it. I've got your email, Ahmed from ABC Recruitment. No worries, thanks for that. And yeah, thanks for sending me an email. So what I'd like to say in that case is they're busy. Just because they're busy and they may give you a not interested response, it does not mean they're not interested at all. It's just they're not interested right now. You can say to them, okay, perfect. Do you mind me giving you a quick call back potentially some point next week after you had a look over my email? And then if they say to you, yeah, so just make sure that you try to close them on the day that you want to call them back. So do not leave it open. Say to them, oh, do you mind if I give you a call back next week, Wednesday? Yeah, no worries. What time suits you Wednesday? 12 o'clock? Perfect. I'm going to put this in my diary to give you a call 12 o'clock next week, Wednesday, and we can discuss on the phone a few options that may be a great fit for you. So now you've got that potential, I'm not interested right now because I'm busy, to try to schedule a time with them where they free up their time. They'll be a bit more relaxed and a bit more open to give you more of their time and potentially their availability for work. And then you've got the I'm not interested response. Thanks for calling, but I'm not interested in new opportunities right now. Thanks for your call. Those ones, they're not interested and they've made it clear they're not interested. What I like to say to them is, what I say to those kind of candidates is, because they're not interested and they're in an opportunity right now, I'd say that no worries at all. Let me just tell you about the opportunity. And just now you've got to sell that opportunity just in case it may spark their interest, or it may make them change their mind in the future. Just to let you know, the opportunity was for a software developer. It was in Northwest London, which is about 15 minutes from you. They were paying £65,000 per annum and 6 weeks annual leave. Really, really flexible, hybrid. Sometimes you get to work from home as well. So that was the opportunity and what I was presenting to you. But no worries, I can see that you're not interested. But if in case you do change your mind, what I'll do is I'll drop you a quick email, and you can always let me know. This opportunity may be around for the next couple of days or so. So if you do change your mind, you can let me know. And whilst I'm on the phone to you, would you happen to know any friends or colleagues that may potentially be interested? And then ask them potentially if they've got a friend or colleague available. And if you do, kindly forward them my email and we will pay you a referral fee. So this person that was not interested at all in your position or the vacancy that you're offering, but you've told them anyways what it is and how much of a fantastic opportunity it was. And you always make them that, you're kind of missing out on this fantastic opportunity. Here it is. You're not available, but I leave it in your inbox anyway, in case you do change your mind. And then you've got the curious, cautious calls. Can you tell me a bit more about your company and, the they've got their guards up a little bit. So those ones, you let them know, I'm calling from ABC Recruitment. We're a recruitment agency. We actually specialize, and let them know whatever field that you're calling in from, that you're a specialist, that you're not just a gimmick, you're not just a rookie recruitment company, but you're a specialist in their field. We're a specialist in IT, and we've got so many IT opportunities available. We've been around the market for X amount of years. You don't have to, if you're a new agency, you don't need to say, we're new in the market. You can just, it's all about your perception and how you carry yourself and how you come across. You can say we work with so many providers in the IT space, and they trust us, and we've built years of reputation working with these companies. So we've got so many opportunities, and I know you're not interested, but if always try your best to leave at least some form of communication open for them should they change their mind in the future. Whether you drop them a text message just so they've got your details, whether you drop them an email so if they've got your details for future reference, try to always keep a form of communication open for them and leaving the ball in their court. So if they ever do change their mind, that they have a form of communication to get in contact with you. And then you've got the skeptical response, which is I get a lot of calls from so many different agencies, and what difference are you from the other 101 agencies that call me? Or the skeptical responses that I get sometimes is, how did you get my number? How did you get my details? Who are you? What I like to say to them, how did you get my details, is you've got to just be careful how you word it, because of course just GDPR, which we'll go into over the next modules or so. So what I like to how I respond to when they say, how do you get my details? I sometimes keep it vague, because there's so many ways of obtaining our candidate details. Sometimes we say it could be CV Library, which is a job board that you've applied on, and we've got your details from the job board. You could have got your details from LinkedIn, and potentially you responded to vacancies that we had, or Indeed, or any of the job boards, or potentially you could have been a referral, a colleague, a friend, or a colleague referred you to us and saying that you are fantastic, a candidate who may be suitable for positions that we have available. So I just keep the response quite vague and open for them to so keep it open. So I don't say, this is how we got your details, but it could be one of many options. And whilst I'm on the phone to you, and just wanted to, all the call was regarding was just really opportunities that we had in your area. And so we had salary opportunities, locum opportunities, contracting opportunities. So let them know of all the different opportunities that you have in the area. And these are some of the responses and how to deal with them. I hope you enjoyed and you've benefited from this, and I'll see you on the next one.